StrayAllDay.com.
Are you showing up as predator or prey? Every time you step into a room, especially for the males, people are reading you. We've been talking about this a lot over the last several days here on the show. You're always being read energetically by other people. They are deciding unconsciously, usually within seconds, as we've been talking about, if you are predator or prey. And we're going to get into exactly what that means here today. And whether you realize it or not, the way you move, speak, and carry yourself will help make that decision for them. They are not making this decision based on who they are. They make the decision based on how you are communicating non-verbally with the space and with the other people around, including up to and including that person themselves. And they are deciding before you speak, even if you don't speak. So today we're going to talk about how you are communicating with the world and the way you operate. And are you coming off as predator or are you coming off as prey? And I'm going to, of course, metaphorically explain to you what both of those mean and how other people may be using those in their mind, again, with regards to you, also as it pertains to them as a person, because it can be different for different people. Point number one, today's topic, once again, are you showing up as predator or prey? Number one, predators move with certainty. Predators move with certainty. Think about an animal like a wolf, an alligator, or a lion. All right, they don't fidget. They don't second guess. They move with calm purpose. When they move, most of the time, they're very calm, but they have purpose. They only move when they need to. They only go somewhere when they want to, and that they decide that they're going to take decisive action. That decisive action happens before you have a chance to think about what to do about it. Prey, on the other hand, moves in twitches, hesitations, and leaks of nervous and apprehensive energy. There's a reason that prey does this, a biological reason, because prey animals, let's think of a rabbit or a mouse, for example, they have to be concerned about the predators out there who may be watching and planning on hunting the prey and turning it into a nice afternoon snack or an evening meal. This also applies to bigger animals such as a giraffe, for example, or a deer or a gazelle. These animals don't eat other animals, but they are food for prey. They are food for predator level animals. Predators can hunt these animals. Any animal that can be hunted sometimes has to move with these twitches, hesitations, leaks, and nervous. They have to have nervous and apprehensive energy because it literally keeps them alive. So they have to be aware of who might be trying to catch and eat them, and that's why they always got to be on the lookout for those animals. And those nervous twitches are about any sound that they hear behind them, to the left or to the right, that could possibly be a threat. So I had to be ready to move, ready to mobilize, move, and run, get the hell out of there, just in case that's a predator over there who has moved the grass 30 feet away. Predators, on the other hand, don't have to worry about this because nobody's hunting them. They're not being hunted by anybody. So all they have to concern themselves with is, where's the next opportunity for me? What's the next thing that I might do something to? They don't have to worry about anybody or anything doing anything to them. This is predator energy versus prey energy. So I want all of you to think, as human beings, when you move about your life, are you in the mindset of the predator or are you in a mindset of the prey? The mindset of the predator is what I might do to something or someone. Whereas prey energy is, I hope nothing or no one does anything to me. That's predator versus prey. The good news about these energies, folks, as I explain them, good news about these energies is that any of you can choose at any given time which energy you want to carry yourself with, because these are just mindsets. It's not about who the other people are. It is about who you are, but in this sense, with these definitions that I'm giving, these explanations that I'm giving, it's not really about who you are. It's just about the way you choose to think. Do you want to carry yourself through life as, hey, I'm looking to see what I might do in this situation, or what I might do to and with this person over here because I control the frame of every engagement I'm in? Or are you in the mindset of, I'm looking to see how other people are looking at me because they're controlling the frame with me, and I want to make sure I'm not on the wrong side of the situation with that person, or this thing, this object, this circumstance over here. That's predator energy versus prey energy. And understand, no matter what your status is in life, no matter what your role is in life, you can choose to adopt either one of these mindsets at any time, and it will change how you operate within that role, even if the role does not change. When you change your mindset, even though the role hasn't changed, the way you operate in that role changes. And that's the mindset piece that a lot of people need to wrap their heads around. Okay. Prey has to always be on alert for what someone else might do to it, whereas predators, on the other hand, have the opposite energy. They're looking to see what they might do to other things. So ask yourself, just looking at the way you conduct yourself on a daily basis. Those of you who are listening to this at the beginning of the day, think about yesterday. If you're listening to this in the middle of the day or the end of the day, think about how you've operated so far today. Are you operating as the predator or are you operating as the prey? Predator is on their toes, ready to move forward and attack, whereas prey is on its heels, looking to run and be on the defense. Which one are you? And there's a general way that you operate throughout your day. Yes, you can be one or the other at different times for different reasons, but there's a general operating system that you have, just like your phone or computer. Point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is are you moving? Are you showing up as predator or prey? Number 2, predators command and own space. If you ever saw a true predator in real life, again, I'm not talking about the zoo behind a cage on the other side of a fence. You would probably freeze in your tracks if you saw a real predator in real life, even if you didn't know what the animal was. For example, if you had never seen a lion before, but you saw one in the wild, you would stop in your tracks at the sight of the lion. Now, why is this? Because the way the lion conducts itself, it'll be looking straight at you. This is the human version of holding eye contact, or the the animal version of holding eye contact. It would take up all the space at once. Again, humans, that means never making yourself physically small. You occupy the space that you wish to occupy in a room, not the space that someone else tells you to take. All right, that's another predator behavior. For example, next time you go to a place that has a waiting room and you announce that you're there, but it's not your time yet, they usually, the receptionist or whoever it is trying to keep control of the space, will probably tell you that you can go sit down in the waiting space. Here's a subtle thing that you can do. Don't sit down. You can go into the waiting space, just don't sit down. I never sit down in waiting spaces. If I'm at the dentist and they say, okay, thanks for coming, Dre, for your appointment. Good to see you again. You can have a seat over there and the dentist will be out to see you shortly. I will not stand right there at the counter, but I'm not going to sit down. I'm going to stay standing up. Because see, if you sit down, the person at the counter can't even see you anymore. You literally disappear. Think about it. Next time you go to a place that has a seating area, the person who's sitting behind the counter, depending on how it's constructed, sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. But sometimes in certain places, if you sit down in the waiting area, the person at the counter cannot physically see you anymore. So they have literally made you disappear, at least to them. But if you stand up, they can see you the whole time, especially if you're tall like me. So I never sit down, and I will stand wherever I want to stand until I get whatever it is that I came to get. Just yesterday, as a matter of fact, I went to this restaurant. I ordered pickup food, and I went to the pickup area, which is kind of in the back of the restaurant. And usually there's somebody standing there at the pickup area because they take all the DoorDash, the deliveries, all that stuff, and people do this stuff all the time. So I go back there, and they have a shelf where the orders are sitting there waiting. And sometimes there's no human back there, but my order is already sitting on the shelf. I just grab it off the shelf and take it because it has my name on it. I go back there yesterday from the day I'm recording this, and there's no orders on the shelf. The shelf is completely empty, and there's no person back there. Now, usually what some people would do, in prey energy, you would just stand there and wait till somebody comes back there. But you're already at the back of the restaurant, and there's nobody there, and your food's not there, and I already got the text message confirmation that my order was ready. So, no, fuck that. I'm not standing there. So I go back to the front of the restaurant. I go back to the front where the hostess is at, the hostess that seats people who are coming to sit in the restaurant. I tell her the situation. Hey, I'm waiting for my food. Actually, before the hostess came out, there was a waiter. He was waiting some tables near the front, and he was asking me if he could help with something. And I told him the situation. I'm trying to get my food. And he said, well, the area where you do your pickups are back there. And I said, I was already back there, and there's nobody back there. And he said, I can't remember what he said next. He said, maybe the order is already on the shelf. I said, no, there's no food back there. And he said, well, you can wait back there. Somebody's going to come back there. And I just ignored him. I didn't say anything. I just kept standing there. And he kept doing what he was doing. Then the hostess comes up in the middle of this exchange, and she's asking me a similar question. I tell her, hey, I have an order. I tell her the name and all that. She says, let me go check. Then she goes and checks. And I stayed right there at the front of the restaurant. I was not moving from that spot until it was confirmed that somebody had my food. So she goes and She comes back a few minutes later, and then another person comes out, another waitress, I guess the person in charge of that area who wasn't manning her area, the pickup order area. She comes out, and she's out, and she said, oh, it was an order for Dre. And she said, yeah, we made it. I don't know what happened. So she goes and checks, and then she comes back around, and she says, let me go get it. I'm going to bring it right out. I don't know what happened. I'm going to bring it right out. I say, okay. So then I go back there to the back, and then like 2 minutes later, she comes out with the order, and she says maybe somebody took the wrong order or something like that. But they had the order, and they had it all right. The whole point is sometimes, not sometimes, but just giving you a small little life tip that you can use here, a small little life hack, is that waiting areas and places like that, like restaurants have waiting areas where you're waiting to be seated, or the dentist's office, or these types of places. They are all designed to make you disappear before it's time for them to, before they have decided that they're going to serve you. So they try to make you disappear by having you go sit in the waiting area. That's a disappearance area. Don't sit down in the waiting area. Don't do it. Stand up. Just stay standing in the waiting area. Again, you don't have to stand there and stare at the receptionist or the administrator, but don't sit down. And definitely don't go to a place where they're trying to make you go away so that they don't have to deal with you. Because see, when you're standing there and they can see you, they can't act like you're not there. And it's a subtle thing, and it takes a little bit of balls to do it, because they might be a little bit uncomfortable, and even an administrator will sometimes try to repeat to you a second time, hey, you can sit down. Hey, please sit down. No, I'm not sitting down. Now, if I'm sitting with a person, I will sit down. If I'm going into your office and you are sitting down, then I'll sit down too. But other than that, no, I'm not sitting down. So again, just a little thing you could take with you. So what we're talking about here again is predator is looking for what they can do to things, whereas prey again is looking to be on the run and on defensive. And on this second point, if you saw one of these animals, because the way that the animal conducts itself is looking straight at you, holding eye contact, it's occupying its space, and it's occupying its space that it wants to occupy, not what someone else tells it to take. That's the point that I was making here. As a predator, the predator occupies the space that it wants to be in, and you can't make a predator move from a space that the predator does not want to move from. That's not possible. You can't move a lion from, if the lion doesn't want to move, the lion ain't moving. If an alligator doesn't want to move, the alligator is not moving. Now, prey, on the other hand, will go where you tell it to go. A lion, if you saw a lion out in the wild, this is the example I was giving, it would stand tall in its body. It would notice that you notice it, and it doesn't mind that you notice it. This is why I'm telling you, you go to a place where they're telling you to go to the waiting area, don't sit down. Because when you sit down, you can be unnoticed. Now you're not there anymore. When you stand up, you're being noticed, especially if you're tall, they can see you, even if you're not tall. Just the fact that you're standing up when they just ask you to sit down, but you stand up. And again, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to say, no, I'm not going to sit down, I'm going to stand up. You don't have to say anything. Just say, all right, thank you for registering me, thanks. And then you just go stand in the waiting area. They can't ignore you now because you're standing up. Right? Unconsciously, they still see you there. Not unconsciously. Consciously, you're still there. Unconsciously, they can't delete you because you're still standing up. And again, you can't tell a predator where to go. Prey, you can tell where to go. Prey, what it does is, and also, let me, one more thing about this. Eye contact is a way of unconsciously letting other people know, non-verbally letting other people know is a better way of saying it, that I see you, and I see you seeing me. Eye contact means you're both looking at each other. I see you seeing me, and I'm okay with the fact that you're seeing me. That's what eye contact says. I know that you see me, and that's all right. I'm not uncomfortable with the fact that you're seeing me, and I will continue to see you. And I continue to let you see me, and I'm completely okay with this. That's what eye contact says. Now, again, especially for the men, eye contact is not a face fight between you and the other person. Not a battle at who could stare at the other person the hardest. Eye contact is your eyes are landing on another person. It doesn't have to be a hard look. It's just your eyes are landing on another person and you're comfortable with it. That's what eye contact is. So don't take this the wrong way, as it means you need to be ready to fight the other person. So lions make that eye contact, have no problem with the fact that you see them, because predators don't hide. I mean, they hunt, but they don't hide. There's a difference. Prey hides. Predators do not hide. Prey, on the other hand, from what I'm talking about here, will shrink, i.e. sitting down in the waiting area at the dentist. It avoids eye contact, and when they make you sit down, they can't see you. Well, there is no eye contact because you can't see a person. And you're generally hoping to go unnoticed. That's the reason why they have that seating area at the doctor's office. They want you to sit down so that they can't see you, so that you're not there. Again, Why does prey do this? Why does prey sit down and hope to go unnoticed? Because they don't want to be noticed. Because they get noticed by a predator, they're going to get eaten. All right, that's the whole point. They don't want to get seen. All right, notice this exact same energy in human beings. You probably don't get eaten by other human beings, probably never would. But the reason why prey level humans shrink the way that they do and are so willing to acquiesce to people's requests or directions to shrink themselves or shrink yourself is because unconsciously you don't want the predator level people out there to see you and devour you. So you have to change your mindset and change your being, change your state, your presence, and your energy. Therefore, you're in the predator mode and you're not going to have anybody else tell you to shrink yourself when you don't want to. Again, sometimes people do this verbally. I'm giving you a great example here of when you go anywhere that has a waiting area. Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, are you showing up as predator or as prey? Number 3, predators control the energy. Like I just said, predators control the energy. When I go to the dentist and they say, please have a seat, and I don't sit down, I'm controlling the energy. You can't make me sit down. I don't want to sit down. I'm a customer, so what are you going to do? Kick me out? I'm not sitting down. I'm going to stand right here until the dentist comes. I'm not that early for my appointment, so I'll stand here as long as I need to stand here. And the dentist better hurry up because my appointment is supposed to be in 10 minutes. Not only do predators control their own energy, they control the energy of others. Again, think back to our example. If you saw a lion, even if you see lions in a zoo, there's a little bit different with the zoo because you know they can't get you. So unconsciously, you don't have to pay that much attention to the lions in the zoo because you know they can't get to you even if you turn your back. Same thing with an alligator, or I don't know if they have wolves in the zoo. But predators control their energy and they control everybody else's energy. Remember that power is about what you don't show, not about what you actually do. Power is about what you don't show, not about what you actually do. Predators do not overtalk. They do not overexplain. They do not spill out energy. They do not strain to be liked or validated. Let me repeat that list one more time. I want to make sure all of you heard it. Predators do not overtalk. They do not overexplain. They do not spill out energy. They do not strain to be liked nor validated. And I want that pause to stay in there so that you can let all that fit. Many of you convey prey energy because you are talking too much. You explain yourself when no one even asks you for an explanation. You let energy leak out of you, sometimes even spill out of you, which is even worse. And you strain to be liked or validated, usually by doing those first 3 things. These all come off as a show of trying to be liked or validated by other people. A lion doesn't need to be validated by anyone because a lion can kill any other animal that it doesn't like. Aiming for acceptance is prey behavior, by the way. Predators remain calm under pressure. They never lose the frame when things go off script because they are the frame. Prey, on the other hand, when things start to go wrong, they panic, they become reactive, and they expose their own weaknesses in the process. Now, who do people usually gravitate towards, the predator or the prey? Of course, we know in life people gravitate towards a calming presence, especially in stressful situations. Whoever's calm, whoever's the calmest person in the room is the leader in that situation, and predator is always calm. I've never seen a nervous lion. You ever seen a nervous alligator? Not really a such thing. The only thing that'll make an alligator or a lion nervous is if a human's trying to hunt and kill them. They do understand that sometimes. But let's just say in their natural habitat, living their natural lives, which is amongst animals, lions don't get nervous. And because of all this, predators earn respect without asking for it or even mentioning the word respect. So next time you see somebody walking around talking about respect or show me respect or I'm demanding respect or commanding respect, these things, if they're going around talking about it, like announcing it, that's not predator behavior because the predator doesn't have to say it. Predator doesn't have to say the word respect. They don't have to mention that word. Not in that context, at least. If you're saying the word too often, it means you don't have the respect. Because if you had it, you wouldn't have to talk about it. People would be saying it about you. And you wouldn't need to say anything because it's already there. Prey chases after respect and never gets it. So which one are you? Understand that predator and prey is not about being tough, like we just talked about in the episode on alpha. It's not about necessarily being aggressive. It's not about your status or label or title or any of those things. This is an energetic state that you carry with yourself through everything that you do, which means any of you is capable and eligible to carry this energy. And No matter who somebody is, they could just as well be prey as they could be predator. Again, status does not make you a predator automatically. Let's recap today's class, which is, are you showing up as predator or prey? Every time you step into a room, you are being read. We've been talking about this. So let's talk about how you communicate with the world and how you operate. Number one, predators move with certainty. Again, think of a wolf, an alligator, or a lion. Calm purpose, no fidgeting. Prey, on the other hand, twitches, hesitates, leaks, nervous and apprehensive energy. And prey does this because they had to be aware of who might catch them and kill them, whereas predators don't get caught and killed, so they don't have to worry about it. That's why they're much more calm. Number two, predators command and own their space. If you ever saw a true predator in real life, even if you couldn't identify the animal, you would have its full attention, and it would have your full attention just because of its energy. It would be standing up straight and full in its body. It'd be taking up full space. It would not lose eye contact with you, and it would not shrink and try to hide from you. It wants you to see it and is fully comfortable and okay with you seeing it. It does not get told what space to occupy. It chooses what space to occupy, and if you don't like it, there's not really much you can do about it. Notice the same energy in human beings. Prey energy, on the other hand, can be told where to go, can be directed into a space, made to disappear if other people wanted to, and the prey willingly goes along with this. Point number three, predators control the energy. Not only their energy, but the energy of everyone else. The room that you're in right now, there was a lion in that room. No matter what you tried to do, you could not completely take your mind off the presence of that lion. Why? Because its presence commands energy. And it's controlling your energy. You couldn't focus on anything else other than the fact that lion's in the room until that lion got out of the room. If it wanted to leave the room, you couldn't make it leave. It would have to choose to leave. That's how you control the energy of others, just by your very existence. And a lion could be doing nothing, just laying there. And who do people gravitate towards? They gravitate towards the calmest, most still energy in a space, especially in a challenging or stressful situation. So when things get stressful and challenging, if you're the calmest person, you become the leader, even if you don't have a title. All this said, folks, you want to step up this energy. You want to become that predator in your life, even in dealing with yourself. Forget about other people. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Choose your option for engaging with us. We got 4 different options right there on the page, at least the last time I checked. Workonyourgameuniversity.com. Either way, whichever option you choose, you'll be working with me directly. Workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre all